we're here to talk to you about the ways you can join Sunseed. So this is going to be our last video of the day. Thanks so much for joining us for the European Day of Sustainable Communities. And we've got different people here who are all parts of Sunseed, and they've come here in different ways. So we're going to show how you can join to be part of the Sunseed family. And also we're going to do question and answers that have come up throughout the day. So if you are interested in asking us a question now, just write it in the comments and we can answer it, okay? So we're just going to all introduce ourselves first. So I'm Lucy and I've been here for about 1 year now, and I really love nature and being outside, and that's why I wanted to come and work at Sunseed.
I'm Sabine, I'm an intern. I'm here for 1 month now and I stay for the next 2 months. And I really like surfing, and on the way here I went surfing as well.
Hi, I'm Leila. I've been here for 2 months and I will stay for the next 3 months. And I really love guessing astrological facts of people I met and then making the natal chart to see if it's true.
I'm Avena. I've been at Sunseed for a bit over a year now, and I am a storyteller and a writer, and I am gathering all my experiences at Sunseed to hopefully inform my work in that way.
Thank you everyone. So now I'm gonna, well, Sabina, you told that you're an intern. So
Yes.
what does that entail, an internship at Sunseed?
Yeah, so I'm here with my university actually. So I'm studying in the Netherlands. I'm actually from Germany, but I study in the Netherlands International Development Management. And yeah, that entails like managing development projects everywhere in the world. And yeah, I really liked Sunseed because I want to learn more about how you can live as an individual in a more sustainable way and actually develop the world in this way, and not like with big projects, like more in the educational way. And yeah, so this is why I'm here.
So what have you been doing? What do people who come to Sunseed do in an internship generally?
So actually you can just try out a lot of different things and just see what you like doing. You can like focus a little bit on like certain departments, but you can also just look around in different ones and just like get an impression how it is to live in a eco-village, in an off-grid eco-village.
Yeah, and just get involved in all the work that's going on around.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm in the mainly in the office and also in the sustainable living department right now. So I'm doing cosmetics and baking bread, for example. Yeah, it's really
Nice.
interesting.
And how did you come about getting this internship?
So I've found out about it in the internet, and also a recent student of my university, he did his internship here. And yeah, I just wrote an email, and then I had like some questions that I had to answer on the website, and then I had an interview, and yeah, actually then I could already come. But I also texted Sunseed already like 3 or 4 months in advance, so it's always good to like plan it early enough, because there are, I think, some people who are interested in doing the internship here, so it's always good, I think, to write early.
Also, it's nice if you... This is a nice process because we get to know each other. She could get to know what she could expect about Sunseed, and we could get to know her a little bit and improve her educational experience while she's here, to know what she's interested in. Yeah. Is that everything? Do you have something else you wanted to say?
No. If there are any questions, I can answer them in the end.
Nice, thanks. So next we have Leila, who's here on ESC. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your experience so far with this program?
Yes, of course. So actually I'm here as a volunteer, European volunteer, ESC. So it's like 6 months volunteering, and I'm actually working in 2 departments. So I'm actually doing things in the departments I'm involved in. So for example, the education development department, we are making educational project, because Sunseed is a non-formal education project. So Um, Actually, we are also making classes, Spanish classes for the people who are here and don't speak Spanish to help integration. In the sustainable living department, I'm mostly working in the medicinal garden. So yeah, all the work in the garden, and also we are making a book about the medicinal plants and try to see how can like have a guide repertoire
Yeah.
with all the plants and their benefits and how to use them, when to harvest. So just to have more books in the library.
So this idea is to do the work, but also share it with the people that are
Exactly.
around and pass the knowledge on to next Sunseed generations as well.
Exactly, just to let some resources and yeah, some things for the next generations. Because the past generation let us so many things and we are so grateful for it. So we have to continue to follow the process. And what else?
So how was the process with coming here to EFC?
Yeah, so my application, I found it on the Facebook, like an announcement, and then I decided to apply. I had to fill a form with to answer some questions about also my motivation and etc. And then I had an interview as like you with I think 3 coordinators of 3 different departments, and yeah, I came here. So basically, I had an interview with the education coordinator, the sustainable living, and also the gardens because I didn't know yet in which department I wanted to go. So finally, I chose those 2. But at the end, I can always, if I'm interested about gardening, I can always go and help, and that's what I really like here. It's that you can learn so many things because you're attached to one department, but at the end you can help in any ways. So,
Yeah, that's the idea as well. Sometimes we need to do a big job like bringing in a huge amount of firewood and we need everyone to help. So
exactly.
that's part of community living also.
Yeah.
But with the European, with this European program, they are funding it, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, Sunseed provide food and accommodation and pocket money, so you get paid monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, that's a really nice way to come here for 6 months and learn a lot, and then you can go and take it on with the rest of
Exactly.
your life.
You can offer what you can do, what you're interested in, and you can also, like, it's a very interesting school. You can learn a lot of things about what you're
Cats.
interested in, cats, harvesting, and sociocracy, and yeah, it's a good experience.
I'm glad you're enjoying. And Avena, I know you've been here about the same length of time as me. You arrived 2 weeks before me, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
So a bit of Sunseed, like an old Sunseeder, because people here do tend to stay only for 1 year, the maximum. So you've got a bit of an idea of how the staff work.
Yeah. So I'm an assistant. I'm also in the communications and sustainable living department, which is quite funny. We all seem to be in similar departments, but the application process is the same as we've described for each of the things. It's department specific. Yeah, so I work as an assistant.
And what does an assistant mean? It's a bit more than being a volunteer or an intern in some ways.
Yeah, so it's definitely more responsibility than being an intern or ESC, though of course the responsibility as an intern or an ESC or a volunteer are what you make it. But assistants come already knowing they're going to have more responsibility, and they come for a 3 or a 6 month contract, which can be extended. But yeah, you're mostly supporting the coordinators, making sure stuff within the department gets done, stuff that maybe gets missed, that isn't like general community stuff to do, it's not necessarily like the educational parts, but it's just like the general running, and also making sure that people who are in the department are learning while they're there, people who are coming get the chance to learn, and it's kind of holding the department in that way, a sort of more internal way of doing it, and really supporting the coordinator, making sure that the projects that are happening have some momentum and movement in them, and all the responsibility doesn't just fall on one person, the coordinator's shoulders.
And you can get involved with the educational side, like teaching the volunteers what you know already about about your department and the organisation. You can have your own project as well. Right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Sunseed is like a super educational project, so we're all teaching each other, and as assistant you have more responsibility to pass on the knowledge, to make sure that shorter term volunteers projects get done, but of course you can have responsibility for a certain project, or have a project that you want to complete that's a more personal project within the department.
And you mentioned coordinators as well. Would you like to explain what they are?
Yeah, so the coordinators are the people who coordinate the departments, and we have 8 departments. And they're split into 3 teams. To briefly explain, is just we have the office team, which has communications, education, and administrational operations. And we have the practical team, which is sustainable living, ecosystem restoration, and organic gardens, and the technical team, which is appropriate technology and eco maintenance. And so each of these departments can have a coordinator. Currently we don't have a coordinator for all of them, but that's the idea, is to have 8 coordinators, making sure that the departments are running smoothly, having a general overview of what's happening in their department, but a little bit in other people's departments, and bringing that really to the community side, making sure that they're running smoothly in the community, any conflicts that arise get solved. And the coordinators are here on 1-year contracts, and you have to commit to a year to come as a coordinator. That's one of the key points, because it means that you get to learn what's going on, you get a really good idea of what's happening at Sunseed, and then you can actually grow that knowledge and work on that, and you're not just sort of constantly trying to learn what's going on around you while doing your job. So it's important that the coordinators come for a year, because there is a lot of responsibility in that role, and a lot of responsibility not only to make sure everything gets done, but to make sure everyone who's here has their voices heard, and that the power is shared out equally, and still everything is done to a good standard. So it is quite a lot of responsibility in that role.
Also, I'm just coming to the end of my 1 year as coordinator, and it's been really amazing experience, learning a lot, having opportunity to develop myself in my work, which is related with conservation and restoration, but also the educational side. It's amazing. So many different people come with so many different questions, and to be able to share that knowledge with them is something that's been a real opportunity for me, which I've really enjoyed. And we will be doing some courses also later in the year. We have one called Dragon Dreaming, which is just 1 weekend course. And then we also have one that's going to be a 2-week volunteering experience in ecosystem restoration. So you'll come and be a volunteer, but fully working with us, because it's the planting season and we have a lot to do. But it won't just be working, it will also be that educational side. So we're going to have workshops and learning about a lot of different topics about conservation, restoration, and a lot of the problems that environmental problems the world is facing. Yeah. And so one thing we forgot to mention so far is that normally we're full of volunteers. This is what it is, a volunteer project. So at the moment, with the coronavirus situation, we have not been able to take volunteers in the way we normally would, but we can explain to you a bit how we're doing now, how you can come to visit. Sabine?
Yeah, so at the moment there are like 3 different options for volunteers to come to Sunseed. The one option would be to come as a residency, which would be like just for 4 weeks, and it's like half time working in Sunseed, and the other half time you can just do your own project. Then there's another another way of joining also for 4 weeks, but like full-time commitment to Sunseed, and also another way of joining for 7 weeks and also full-time.
Yeah, and I think this is nice, this new thing that we're trying out, because it gives people the opportunity to really understand what's going on. If you stay here just 1 week, it's hard to see the depth of all the activities that we do. So now we're staying a bit longer, it should be a good opportunity for that, and it means we have less influx of people, meaning we're reducing the risk for ourselves. So that's it, that's the ways you can join us. And I just wanted to ask everyone what was their favourite experience in Sunseed so far, because it's a really fun place and I've enjoyed living here a lot. Amina?
So my favourite experience in Sunseed so far is probably back before Christmas, I think. Even we were more involved in the water rights fight that's happening here, and one platform called Aquiferos Vivos invited us to a presentation and talk they were giving, and we offered to do a performance to make the talk come more alive, so it wasn't just presentation after presentation, it had a bit of art in there as well. And this is probably my favourite experience. We went to this little town in the mountains where they're having a similar water issue, and we were doing this amazing performance that we'd spent about a week creating, but it was still really improvised, and it was all without speaking, really just following a pattern that we designed for it, but really improvised, and trying to show the issues of the water through theatre and through art, which I think is an amazing medium to use as an artist myself. I love being able to use art to get information across, and to maybe appeal to people's emotions more. And it really worked, because people came up to us after and they were like teary-eyed, and they were saying how moved they were by the performance. And it was just an amazing experience to work together with this group that we created to do the performance. We did some really great activities, and yeah, it was great to work with the rest of the people, and then to be able to present something that we'd created to more people than just Sunseed, and to really bring the message out into the world and do activism through art, which is amazing.
And Layla, in the 2 months? What have you done so
it's
far?
difficult because I've been here for 2 months, so every day it's a favorite experience because there are still so many new things to learn, and for this it's a favorite experience. But maybe my latest one was when we were making wine because I really enjoyed the process of harvesting the grapes, and then making wine like in the old way with my feet and stuff, and then filtering, and then I can see maybe in 3 months if we have the wine for Christmas. So yeah, it was very exciting. Yeah,
that's great. And you?
I think my favorite moment or experience was the No Talent show like 2 weeks ago. I don't really know what it was, but yeah, it was really funny. Like everyone prepared like a little show or performance. Yeah, it was really funny what people came up with, like really experimental, and yeah. And we had a really nice dinner all together, and also some neighbors here from the village came, and just, yeah, we had a really nice time all together. And afterwards we just danced a little bit in the desert.
Nice.
Was
That
really
sounds
fun.
fun. Yeah, it was someone's leaving party, right?
Yeah.
And you, Lucy?
Well, I find it difficult to know, but the thing that's sticking in my mind of just the overall experience of Sunseed is just how much I've really learned in this year, just by doing things myself and working out things together, you know. And also I knew that I was going to learn things in my department, but the overall, like, how to live in a community, how to fix problems that we have, how to govern ourselves using sociocracy, all these things I just find amazing, and it's something that I think is quite unique about Sunseed, and I have loved that, and it will stay with me in my life, I think. So now we're going to ask the questions. I think you've got them on the screen there, Peter. No?
I do. So we've had a few questions come in throughout the day. I guess I can just start going through them. So we're at 10% battery, so I guess we should maybe hurry up. So, first one. Are you welcoming volunteers with their own camper van? Who would like to answer this?
I'm really sorry, but we can't accept... Well, I mean, you can drive your camper van, but you're not allowed to sleep in your camper van. We can't host you if you're staying in your camper van. The biggest reason for this is because we're in a natural park and it's against the law. And this could reflect really badly on Sunseed if it was found. But another really important reason is that we're a community and we want everyone to feel part of the community, and so it's quite important that we live together, and that is part of it. If you come to Sunseed, you live at Sunseed, then you don't stay in your van. So I'm sorry if you want to sleep in your van, we can't host you, but if you want to just drive your van here, it's a vehicle, so we're not going to stop you doing that, obviously.
This is also a bit related to if we're the theme of us having visitors now, because at the moment with coronavirus we are more closed than we were before, which is a shame, but it's something we have to do. So the only opportunity to come in that way is our tour that we have once per week on Wednesday. So if you want to come for that, I think it's at 11:30, and you can just call or write to us and join the tour. But apart from that, we're not having random visits at the moment due to the pandemic.
Great, thank you guys. So the second question out of 3 is, what are the effects of living in a transient community?
Who wants to answer? Well, I can explain a bit, because it's a really interesting experience, because I don't think I would have got a chance to live in another place like this. We see a lot of benefits of community, you know, we all support each other, we talk about how we're feeling, so if it's going to affect our work, people understand why we're feeling this way. And I don't know, we just have so much more support than I think you do in the normal life. And that's the amazing thing about community, and we build so much together, and we achieve more than I could individually, for sure. But the fact that it's transient, meaning people come and go all the time, that can be a bit tiring. I mean, it is something amazing about the project, because I think we have thousands of Sunseeders who've taken the seed of their idea or their inspiration from here, and they've gone and planted it in another place in the world. So it's amazing. But for living here a long time, it can be a bit tiring, always seeing a new face and having to put your energy into that. But I have also met a lot of incredible people through it. So it's got its good and bad.
I think I would say similar. And sometimes it's harder to have a lot of new people come, and sometimes you manage it really easily. But one of the great things about it being a community is that even if you're feeling quite tired with the new people, somebody else in the community won't be. So there's always the energy that carries us through. And it's quite a permaculture principle, but the problem is the solution. So while it might be a problem to constantly have new people, it's also the solution, because it brings so much new energy and fresh ideas to Sunseed, and really without that the project doesn't work properly. So it's super important for this project as it is to have this constant flow of energy, even if sometimes it's a little bit tiring for those of us who live here a longer time. It's also amazing, as Lucy said, you meet amazing people and you hear their ideas, and you get to see the places that they go to afterwards and the projects that they make happen, and then you have a network all over Europe and all over the world that is full of really incredible people.
Great, thank you guys. So the final question, do you still have vocal frogs in the river at Easter time?
Frogs making noise in the river.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I've definitely heard them a lot.
Yes, we have.
Yes? So that's a big definite yes?
And it's wonderful going in there in the night when the moon is shining and just hearing the frogs. They are so loud.
Can you do an impression of one?
I don't know if I really can. Does anyone else want
I
to?
reckon Sabina can.
No, I never even heard them.
Oh wow, really?
No.
I think it is a bit earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Like they asked if it was around Easter time. I know definitely in early summer they were. And I
See.
could even hear them from the top of the hill because I live in the house at the top of the hill. Quite far away from the river. And they're there like... That's not a frog noise.
So we definitely do. We definitely have them still. Perfect. That's all the questions we've had.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And if you are interested in finding out more about us, we've always got our website you can look at, or YouTube, and also in the future you can check if you want to come and visit as well and be part of the big family. Thanks. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.